Hi folks, welcome to your mwis Friday Planner in association with Ellis Brigham. We're getting our first proper reminder of the changing seasons at the moment, with cold northerly winds being drawn across the British Isles. Temperatures reported on Cairngorm summit earlier today were just below freezing point, and some snow was in the air and just gently on the ground in places. Early days, but a sign that winter is on the way. The weekend is staying cool. It'll feel distinctly chilly where exposed to the wind on the top, so do be prepared for that. It's generally a fine story. One or two areas of nuisance, patchy drizzle or a few showers around, and some cloud covering the windward hills facing towards the northwest, but some sunshine and some breaks around as well. Chilly nights as well. Next week does become milder as the atmosphere turns back to a southwesterly pattern, which may bring some rain at times. In the short term, it's still high pressure that situates itself just to the west of us, and that northwesterly airflow is still going to be rather cool. We've got then the dregs of an old front which are somewhere just to the north and east of Britain, and that moisture just enough to produce areas of drizzle or one or two bits of showers coming in across north and northwest Scotland. Not really amounting to much, but some of those windward hills could see some damp conditions, rather a nuisance for a good part of the day. Low cloud covering the tops in northwest Scotland, probably around the Cairngorms as well. Temperatures then still near to freezing point on those highest tops at around 12 or 1300 metres early in the day, but will lift above zero a few more degrees higher than on Friday. A cool feel then, a chilly feel, sub-zero wind chill factor where exposed on the high tops. For England and Wales, a bit more in the way of sunshine. Central Scotland too, seeing better sunny breaks coming through. The wind not quite as strong the further south and west that you go. Early breezy conditions on Sunday should tend to ease for most places, lighter winds overall. A general legacy of a fair amount of cloud again, the dregs of an old front in the mix for Sunday, producing one or two areas of showers locally, these mostly light and well scattered just around some windward coastal hills, North Wales, northwest Scotland, maybe one or two close to the Cairngorms as well early in the day. A fair amount of cloud during the day, again will cover the northwest facing hills for periods, some breaks coming through, best of these again further south and east of the major hill groups. The whole pattern just moving around slowly into Monday, high pressure slipping slightly further southward, still dregs of an old front producing some moisture around the northern and northwestern fringes. Further fronts starting to show their hand from the Atlantic, just moving in on a strengthening southwesterly wind, but for most of Britain through the day the wind is looking light. There'll be some variable cloud, some sunshine, maybe some mist and fog patches in the valleys and the glens first thing in the morning, and a touch of frost once more where we do see clear skies overnight. A decent day for many, but just watch some stubborn banks of cloud, particularly around northwestern coastal hills in Scotland. Further into the new week, and we have high pressure that stays to the south. We've got that southwesterly flow starting to set itself up then across the northwestern side of Britain and Ireland, and the front trailing its way through with rather damp and murky conditions coming into the coasts, and that will produce some drizzly rain at times. Get further inland from the coast though, and it's largely a dry story. Cloud bases rising the further east you go across the Highlands. Could be some low cloud and mist and fog around across England and Wales in the morning. That will tend to lift and break, and some sunshine should come through, but there may be a fair amount of cloud still in the sky. Mostly light winds to the south. Strongest of the southwesterly breeze is across northwest Scotland. With this southwesterly flow, temperatures then are just drifting up a little bit day on day into the middle of the week. We've got that legacy of bits of fronts again draped in across northwest Scotland, that damp southwesterly flow once more producing rather misty, murky conditions, some drizzle and some light rain at times around western Scotland. Again, higher cloud bases further eastwards into the Cairngorms for England and Wales. Generally bits and pieces of mist and fog and low cloud maybe around in the morning should tend to lift and break, but just watch to see if any of those western coastal hills around the Irish Sea could just get rather clagged in if the atmosphere is damp enough at this stage. Best breaks then further towards the eastern side of the hills in England and Wales. Just depending on where any weak fronts are situated, we may get some drizzly rain extend a bit further southwards through the middle of the week. We need to watch that detail. We do have low pressure broadly centred up to the northwest of us and a stronger southwesterly wind, which by later Wednesday or Thursday could well reach gale force, particularly across higher Scottish mountains and towards the northwest. We do likely then see a further front come in with a bit more energy in the later stages of the week. There is still, again, uncertainty about the eastward progress of this. The threat of some heavier rain for a time, more focused on western mountains in Scotland. The possibility of some rain patchier in nature further into England and Wales. This model chart is perhaps the most pessimistic that we're seeing in the various simulations at this stage in terms of pushing that heavier rain further south and eastwards. Other indications would keep that front held further out just to the western side of Scotland and would lead to England, Wales and eastern Scotland maybe not seeing much rain at all, but we need to watch those details through the latter part of the week. For now, I would say expect there to be some rain in the forecast. It may be that it's more western regions that see the most of this, but a general theme that we're starting to look toward the Atlantic for weather patterns coming in as we head further into next weekend and beyond. That looks to be the general theme for the final week of the month as well. The suggestion of lower pressure towards the northwest, higher pressure towards the southwest, and a general west by southwesterly flow that prevails across the Atlantic. There could be the tail end of tropical storms that are around the Caribbean at the moment that could be being drawn into the mix by this stage. So the idea of the final stages of September being a more changeable mix of Atlantic weather patterns with some wind and rain coming through at times. The focus probably towards the northwest, whereas more east and southeastern parts more likely to be drier for longer, but expect a more changeable pattern with temperatures a bit varied from day to day. All your local details for 3 days ahead can be found as always on our website. That is your Friday planner in association with Ellis Brigham. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.